Hi everybody, Barbara here. I am super excited to be sharing this lesson for the second Camp Create session for 2017. Today I'm going to be showing you how to inlay die cuts to create a scene, and for this I'm going to be using the Beach Scene Builder Dynamics to create a scene that will cover your entire card front. For scenes like this, I find that it is a good idea to do a mock-up of your idea to see how everything works together. I just use some white cardstock, but if you're planning your layout, you can use scraps or whatever you have handy. You just want to see how things are going to lay. Die cutting and inlay is sort of like masking in a way, only you're doing it in reverse. I have cut out all my pieces here, and I want to show you the part of the background that I'm going to be using. I'm using, as you can see, this outline here. We're going to be using both parts of that. And with this die, it gives you 4 options for laying these pieces together. And I'm going to be showing you them right now. I'm only going to be using one. And if you switch them over, you get 2 more. So it's really a versatile background. So I'm going to be using just one of them, and I'm going to be saving the other 2 pieces to use on another card. As I reference my mock-up, I see that I'm going to be doing my beach and sea first, but since I'm stamping a sentiment, and this sentiment is coming from Beach Buddies on the sea, it's best to do that now before anything is put together. So I'm going to use my Mini Misty to do that. I've already mounted my stamp to save some time, and as you see, I'm using black licorice dye ink for this. And I'm going to ink up my sentiment and stamp it. And as you probably already know, one of the beauties of the Misty is that you can restamp and get a really good impression of your image or sentiment, because you can stamp it twice in the exact same place. So that is done now, and I'm going to start to put my scene together. So I'm going to match these up, and it's kind of like doing a puzzle, matching up your puzzle pieces. So this is the sand and the sea. I'm going to turn them over, and I'm going to tape the back of them to keep them in place, because I'm going to be die cutting into both of those pieces, and so I don't want them to slip when I'm cutting or fall apart. So I'm putting a generous amount of tape on the back just to make sure they all stay together. Now I'm going to be using Blue Breeze cardstock for my top. So I'm just going to be, this is going to be fitting the front of an A2 card base. So I'm just going to cut it off where I need it, and then I'm going to tape it the same way to the C area. Die cut inlay lends itself to lots of different dies. You can use just one word, you can use things like balloons, rainbows, and you don't have to do quite as much as this. So I hope you'll try out those other things that you can do inlay with as well. It's a fun technique that keeps your cards super smooth and flat, so they're very mail friendly. Okay, so that I've got the base. As you can see, it fits perfectly on the front of an A2 cardstock base. So as I consult my mock-up, I see that the next thing I'm going to have to do is the sun. To make sure I've got that placed properly, I'm going to lay out my tree, because I want the sun behind the fronds of the palm tree just a little bit. I want it peeking out. So I'm going to place it under there, secure it with some removable tape, and then I'm going to go now and run it through my die cutting machine. And I'll be right back. There we go, I'm back, and I'm taking that out now. As you see, I have an opening the size of the sun, and I already have one cut out of sunshine cardstock, and all you do is slip it in the opening just like a puzzle, and I'm going to tape the back of that to keep it in place, because if you notice, the palm tree is going to be cut out of that sun as well as one of the clouds. So here we go. I'm going to add my tree in now, and as you can see, the trunk goes up into the fronds a little bit on the mock-up. That will not be the case with the finished product, but it does show the exact placement. So now I'm laying out my palm tree so I know exactly where I want it. And the trunk gets done first because that is in the back. It's, as I mentioned, sort of like masking, but with masking you work from the front backwards, and with this you work from the back frontwards. So the trunk is next, so I've taped that down. I'm going to go cut it out. And I'm back, and I'm removing my die, and now I'm going to put my trunk in place. Sometimes I find for little pieces like this, it's just easier to turn it over and insert it in to tape so that it won't fall out as you turn it over. So now I'm securing it in place with my tape, and now I'm going to see where I want to put my the fronds. As you can see, the coconuts don't lend themselves well to inlay because you want them in sort of a cluster. So I'm just going to add them later. So next I'm going to place my the top of my palm tree and tape it down and go cut it out. And I will be back. And there we have it all cut out. As you can see, it obliterates the end of the trunk that's way up in the tree, so you don't have that problem like you saw on the mock-up. And now I'm inserting my palm tree top, and I'm going to tape it down really well because you don't want it falling apart once you get it on your card either. So I err on the side of caution with taping my die cuts in place. And there's that much. Next we're going to do the islands. Oh, and sometimes that removable tape will leave a little residue. It rubs off easily, or I found that the plastic eraser does a fantastic job of removing it. So it's really not an issue. So next I'm going to do my islands in the distance. And I have found with this that if you wiggle that until the bottom blade is right in the groove between the sky and the sea, it is perfectly in place. So I'm doing both of them that way and taping them down. Now, since I've got room and nothing is going to be in the way, I'm going to go ahead and do the two clouds at the same time, and that will just require one run through the die cutting machine. So just get it lined up really, really well, taping it down securely. And now I'm going to put the other one on, and as you can tell, this one goes into the sun a bit. So I'm going to overlap, and as you remember, you're working from the back forward, so the clouds are going to be on top of the sun, so it goes on top for cutting. So now I'm going to go cut them out, and now I'm back, and I'm going to remove them with what I've cut out and replace them with the islands and the clouds. They fit in perfectly, just like a puzzle piece. And all these little details really add to the scene itself, I think. Taping them in place again. Now these aren't going to be cut over, but I still don't want them coming out on my card once it's done. I want everything secure. And now the clouds. And taping them. Now the card front is almost finished, and you can see how flat it is. It is perfectly flat. The only thing that is going to add any dimension to this card is when I put the coconuts on. I'm going to be mounting this onto an A2 cardstock base. So I have a half a sheet of cardstock. I'm scoring it in the center, and I'm going to fold it and use my bone folder. And if you don't have a bone folder, I highly recommend this square bone folder. It's ergonomically perfect for my hands, and I just love it. So I'm going to attach this to the entire front of this card base. So I've got plenty of adhesive on there, and usually when I am going to put on a panel that covers the whole front, I will do all around the perimeter and then do an X across it as well, just to make sure that it doesn't sort of bubble in the middle or buckle in the middle. And there's a little bit of extra, so I'm just trimming that off with scissors. And now the only thing left is the coconuts, which I'm just going to adhere with some liquid glue. I'm using Ranger Multi Matte Medium for this. I like it because after it dries, it does not show at all, and it's very very secure. And I use my quick stick tool to pick it up, and there you have it. It's done. Just getting rid of a little more tape residue. If you would like to earn today's camp badge, you can create a die-cut inlay card and share it with us in the end links on the blog post for today. All of the information is in the description box for this video, and if you'd like a chance to win a $15 gift card to the MFT online store, please leave a comment on this video and we'll pick a random winner. And anyone who participates in the daily craft for all 5 days this week will be eligible for a grand prize of a $150 gift voucher to MFT stamps. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's camp lesson, and we'll see you tomorrow for more camp fun.